Today we're going to react to Area Vibes ratings of Venice, Florida.
And we're going to tell you why we think they probably need to be taken with a grain of salt. I feel like, in my opinion, niche.com is probably the most accurate. And we used Area Vibes and niche a lot when we were exploring areas in the Orlando area when we moved there, and then also Venice, both, before moving here and after moving here. So let's do it.
Area Vibes gives Venice a 79 out of 100 livability score.
Which I think is not bad. It's pretty good. I mean, if you look at the ratings of other cities, it's definitely better than a lot. Definitely. But yeah, I mean, if we go through these two, you'll see most of those things are pretty good. The reason we kind of think they need to be taken with a little more of a grain of a salt is just because you can see like it's either an A or it's an F. Like there's one thing where we kind of in the middle, but just we've noticed in our experience, like sometimes the city would get a really bad rating on certain things and we would go there and we're like,
it's not so bad.
Yeah, it's fine. So, but they added something to this that we're gonna be able to give a little bit of a more in-depth reaction with, which is nice, is they actually have these little drop-down menus now for the amenities. So D-.
I feel like that's pretty low.
And harsh.
Yes, I would give it a higher rating. I mean, if you look at the map, another thing too that I noticed is they're only including City of Venice. They're not including like South Venice, Plantation. It's even on its own, which is a community in Venice. Venice Gardens, Venice East, like that's a clump of cities.
Yeah.
It's really the same city.
They do have a little bit different feel, I guess, which it is kind of good if you're looking to really get drilled down to an area. And leave a comment if you want us to like do Venice Gardens Area Vibes review and react to that in South Venice and give our thoughts on like if it's accurate or not.
For amenities D-, there is no coffee. Like Venice does have coffee shops, especially on Venice Island.
Is it? Yeah. Why is it 0? Is that what they're saying? Like there's no coffee?
Starbucks coffee shop. There is one.
Okay. Yeah. So like that right there shows you like take it with a grain of salt. There's at least 3 coffee shops that I can think of
in the downtown.
Yeah, right in the island and just in the downtown really.
Yes. Well, and there is Black Gold Coffee.
Yeah, but that's probably not in this area, right? Because that's maybe it is.
Comas?
Yeah, I want to say that's up here, kinda. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but for sure there's 3 coffee shops on the island. But they're like, no, just Starbucks counts.
Yes, and we have at least 2 Starbucks.
Yeah. Again, I think the other Starbucks would probably be outside of this map zone.
Would be closer to Nacomas.
Yeah. Entertainment C-. What do they got for this? Venice Museum and Archives. Venice Theater. That's a pretty big one. It's supposed to be one of the biggest theaters in a small town in all the United States. So Venice Art Center, Venice Rail Depot, Unknown Name Stadium. Is that maybe the Cool Today Park?
Venice Indians, maybe the high school.
Yeah, could be.
But see, entertainment, it doesn't have like we have a theater, but that would be more like South Venice area. So that's probably why it's not listed.
Which theater? Oh, movie
theater.
Okay, I was like, okay. I was like,
movie theater.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. So that wouldn't be included.
Yeah.
And the other thing is too, like a lot of the bars and restaurants and things like that, they'll have like nighttime entertainment with bands playing, especially during the winter. Yeah. And then also another thing that's, unless they're putting this somewhere else, like are they accounting for the beaches, the jetties, things like that? To me,
I feel like that's entertainment.
Yeah, it's kind of part of the entertainment. I guess maybe they would categorize that as parks. I guess
outdoor.
I guess we'll see. Food and drink, an F. I have a bone to pick with Area Vibes on that one.
Pilot House fast food.
I don't even know that one.
Yeah.
Daiquiri Deck, everyone knows that one.
Oh, Venice Pub.
Bressier's Ice Cream, and I don't even think I've
heard of that.
Old Venice Pub I've heard of. OB Subs, yep.
Now Dunkin' Donuts is on here, but it wasn't in the coffee area.
Yeah. Unknown Name Bar. Yeah, so
there is a lot of different like restaurants on the island that are not even listed anymore.
Yeah, like Daryl's isn't on here. Gold Rush Barbecue. I'm trying to think. We have a whole video. We got 3 videos on our channel, so check our channel. We got 3 videos with our favorite restaurants. Like the food scene is good here. I wouldn't say it's the best because we always wish there could be a little bit more like to pick from of different types of cuisine. There's a lot of like Italian, Southern.
But the restaurants that we do have, the cuisines that we do have are really good.
Yeah, really, really, really good. So yeah, disagree. Sorry. Let's see.
2 fitness centers.
Venice Community Center and then Unknown
Well, we have a YMCA, we have a Planet Fitness, B Fitness.
B Fitness, there's like an Anytime Fitness, a U Fit, and there's definitely at least 2 or 3 other ones that we're not thinking of off the top of our head. So again, like they're giving it an F, they're like missing, so I don't know.
Yes, groceries, F.
Pops Meat Market, Publix, Winn-Dixie, there's a Walmart also, but that's also in the South Venice area, so that's...
But see, Aldi is listed.
Yeah.
And that's more like towards south.
Yeah, over here. Barely. But yeah, that's just it. I feel like that area is kind of like a gray area.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because and that Aldi is really close to Venice Gardens.
Yeah.
But the Venice Garden sign is literally right next
there.
to it. Like you would think technically that would be, I don't know.
And then if you're going to list Aldi here, then you should list the coffee shops that are in that little area and the restaurants that are in that plaza as well.
Yeah. What was it? Coffee Cafe that we went to. That was really good. That's right in there. But apparently that doesn't count, so I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Parks, A+.
Oh, A+. Okay, I thought they were going to give us a low rating on that maybe. I was going to say, because we...
Yeah, that one you can't.
We do parks really well, lots of them, especially on the
Park.
island. Palmetto Court Park, Heckscher Park, that's basically the tennis courts and the basketball courts right by the downtown there. Gracer Park, I don't know that one. Venice Beach, okay, so yeah, they're including the beaches and probably the jetty is probably in here. West Blaylock,
Centennial Park.
That's a great park. Centennial, yeah. The jetty park isn't on there, but maybe that's like unknown name. Well, that's a playground. Okay, so they got that part right. Yeah, Venice does parks really well. Shops in F, which to me is brutal and not accurate just because I guess it depends on the kind of shops you're looking for.
Yeah.
But like the downtown, lots of boutique. Like if you want like mom and pop one-on-one type shops with unique stuff.
There's lots to pick from. But if you're looking for more like department stores, we do have a Marshalls, TJ Maxx,
Burlington,
Bells.
trying to think. There's a whole bunch more. They're home centric.
Yeah.
Home Goods. Yeah, there's quite a bit. I mean, just with department stores and that kind of thing. And I mean, again, it's not including South Venice because that's where your Walmart and your Target and that stuff's going to be like, I would say we're at least a C.
Yes.
And then if you also include the mom and pop one-on-one shots in the downtown, like, I don't know, to me, I would give it like a B for the shops.
At least, yeah. So,
I don't know. That's a little bit mean. So amenities a D-. I don't know. Personally, what would you give it? A C+, I think, for me?
Yeah, I think maybe like a C.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do depending on what you like to do.
And I guess I just feel like with Venice too, like some of the, actually no, if we're basing it on this, I would give it actually probably a B. Because they missed the mark. Well, parks, first of all, were like that A+, I feel like goes a long way.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of what makes Venice, Venice. The shops, I feel like, should be a B, give or take, given the size of the city. Groceries, I think...
Yeah, we have plenty of grocery stores.
Yeah, we're C maybe there. An average fitness, I think, should be at least a C, if not a B.
Yeah, food and drinks, more like a B.
And then, like, fitness, if you're not just even looking at just, like, the, like, fitness centers, but also just the lifestyle here. There's a lot of people that get out and bike, walk, run, skip. No, but there's all kinds.
Like the beach, going shark teeth hunting, just like swimming on the beach or going for a run.
Yeah, I mean, if you put all that into context, again, I just would think that's at least a B. Food and drink, I would give at least a C. Yeah, I don't know. Disagree. And then coffee, they just got wrong.
Yeah.
Period. Like
there's no coffee in Venice.
Yeah. So take that with a grain of salt. Commute, F.
Yeah, I mean, they're only measuring public transportation, and most people, I feel like in the country, like this is the culture. You have your own car, you own your own vehicle, and you drive yourself everywhere to work, for anything. So commute for me would be more like how long does it take you to get to school, to work, but that's not being taken into account here.
Yeah, I think how long, and then is it possible? Which if you don't have your own vehicle, then yeah, the public transportation comes into the equation there, which, yeah, I would agree. We're not great on public transportation. We do have the SCAT system, which is nice.
I think the SCAT system, it's great though, because like it's kind of like a taxi system. You call them up and they pick you up either at your at the place that you need to be picked up or like a couple streets down. So it's not much of a walk like a bus stop would be.
Yeah.
And it's also a lot more affordable than calling a taxi or calling an Uber. So I think the SCAT system, it's great.
Yeah. I mean, outside of that, yeah, you don't see a lot of buses and stuff like that really going through Venice. So I guess I could see that side of things. But yeah, I don't know. As far as traffic goes, if you're talking commute for like getting to work, I could also see it maybe just because maybe you would need to travel to Sarasota for work or travel to Tampa or Fort Myers or whatever. But as far as like the actual traffic here, and if you are driving, you could do much worse in Florida. I feel like Orlando's traffic is crazier, Tampa's is crazier, Miami's is way crazier.
Yeah.
I mean, we're really light compared to those. It might be busier than what you're used to if you're coming from small town Midwest or something, but I don't know. In the summers, it's super light, easy breezy to get through town. Winter's definitely a little more congested. I don't think we deserve an F, but I could see it being lower, below the C mark. I guess I don't have a problem with that. Again, I just feel like they're like, you're either an F or you're an A, So
Cost of living C plus. So goods and services and housing is an F, which yes, we are a little more expensive. Groceries are a little bit more. Housing is a little bit more as well. But you're still, compared to other cities in Florida and for what you get in Venice, you're still quite affordable. Like it's still higher, of course, but it's not like being in a beach town in like the Miami area.
Right. And I feel like, yeah, that cost of living and the cost of a house has to be also put into context of some of these other things like, the crime rating, which we're going to get to in a second, and the schools and all that kind of stuff. Like those things increase the desirability of a city. Therefore, the home values are more expensive. Therefore, it's kind of like you get what you pay for sort of a thing. But yeah, I don't know. And even then, like we're a little bit higher, I'd say, than the median home sale price for the United States, but we're not like astronomically higher.
Yes.
So when you put that all into context, I think it depends on maybe what you're doing for your job and things like that, which we'll get to in the ratings in a second. But tax rate, A+, no state income tax.
Income tax, yeah.
So that helps.
And I will say though, sales tax is a little bit higher here.
Yeah.
But, well, for us, because we're from Wisconsin, Midwest.
Yeah.
Typically a lot lower than say like New York or California. So for people coming from the East Coast, it might be a little, or maybe comparable.
Yeah, I think it just depends. I think every county, city, all that's going to have its different.
And even here in Florida, it depends too. It's like the Orlando area, it's a little bit lower than Sarasota County.
Yeah. Crime, A+, we've talked about that on the channel a lot. I think that's pretty accurate. Small town feel, quiet, feels
safe overall.
Yeah. Property crime, B. Violent crime, A+, which means there's lots of it. No, I'm just kidding.
No crimes.
So employment, B. That I actually think is a little high maybe.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think the median household income might be, well, household income would be at least 2 people, right? Making 60,000.
Yeah.
So about 30,000. I think that's accurate. But yeah, I would say employment could be maybe like a B-.
Yeah.
C plus.
Especially if you put it into context with the home prices here. Like if you do need to work here to live here, for some people it might be a little tougher because home values are a little higher here, but the amount you're going to make at a job is a little bit lower. So that dynamic doesn't work so well. I think what kind of keeps a city like Venice afloat, though, is all the people coming from out of state that, have all this equity or maybe a work from home job or whatever that they can, get their house for a little cheaper here than what they're used to from up home, up in the Northeast or whatever, or California, or even the Northwest for that matter. And maybe their house value there allows them to live here mortgage free or mortgage cheap.
And also, as far as employment, we don't have as many options. Like we don't have the big tech companies. We do have a lot of the healthcare industry, education, like teaching jobs, the service industry, waiters and waitresses,
construction, and remodeling. Yeah. I mean, and that's a pretty lucrative industry to be in.
And we do have an Amazon warehouse here in town as well.
Yeah. So I mean, there's definitely, I'd say, enough work opportunities, especially considering so many people that live here are here half the year are snowbirds or retired, and so they're not taking those jobs. So you can kind of have your pick of them, but a lot of them aren't necessarily going to be the highest paying, unless, I'd say the construction industry would be a good option if that's something that you feel like you could do or would want to do. Health, A+.
I think that's accurate. Health and safety.
Dentist, doctor, hospital, etc. 16. And Sarasota Memorial Hospital is one of the highest rated in the state. So there's a Sarasota Memorial in Sarasota, but there's a brand new one that got built in the North Venice area. And there's another branch of it coming to the North Brookville and Park area.
Yeah.
And air quality.
Median air quality.
And obviously, with the air quality, I would hope it's going to be good because you got the entire Gulf. There's no pollution that can happen there possibly. So you got all that fresh air coming in all the time. So that probably helps.
Yes, and the wellness as well, being able to get outside and walk and go to the beach or swim and go for a run on the beach.
Yeah, plus all the trails. There's lots of trails in the parks. You got the Legacy Trail to go all the way up and down to Sarasota. This area as a whole, they're not really including that, but I feel like it kind of should be with health. Is very good if you want to be outdoors, you want to be active, and a lot of retirees that we've said this on the channel before, a lot of retirees don't just come down here to retire and do nothing or just go out to eat and then come back home. Like a lot of them are getting out, walking, running, biking. You'll see all kinds of funky different bikes, the big tricycles, the ones where you're laying on your back, and so there's a lot of that here too. And I think they've set up a lot of infrastructure to make it very doable to do that kind of stuff. Housing, by the way, if you want to buy or sell a home in the area,
make sure to call, text, or email our real estate team, 941-221-1897.
And home prices.
Home price, that's
extremely outdated.
Not accurate. Yeah, 282.
That's probably in 2019 prices.
Yes, and then it says home affordability, it's an F, but then the home price is 282, so that's not even accurate.
And they're giving it an F at the 282, which is crazy. But it's also, again, probably, I think all this data is from 2 years ago. So they're comparing it to the rest of the country's data from 2 years ago. But it's just weird that you give it an A for the price and then an F for the affordability.
And then an A for the home appreciation.
And that's also not accurate either, because that's probably if you're basing it from 2020 to now, late 2023, it's probably almost
double.
75, 85%. And affordability, they're probably putting a little bit of that into context, maybe with I was saying before, the price, the median sale price is a little higher than the national average, but the income is probably a little lower. So that might be why it's an F.
I think for housing, I would give it a C+, B-, maybe. It really depends. If you're a local, it is a lot harder to afford living here because of the types of jobs that we have. But if you're someone coming from a different part of the country and maybe have a work from home job that you're not, dependent on the jobs that we have here, then I think it's not as expensive as Miami or one of the big metro areas. Yeah, and I think you could maybe do well too, just if you have your own type of business of any sort that you can maybe where you have more of a physical location business. Depending on what it is, you could maybe do really, really well here. Again, because there's a little less competition and a lot of demand, especially during the winter months. So something to consider. Schools, we often talk about this on the channel as well. A. But then elementary schools and high schools have an F. Which is weird. Test score 71% and high school graduation rate, it's at 93%. That's pretty high. It's just weird that they would say, the test scores are good. The graduation is great. But the actual schools that are getting that done are terrible. Yes. Grain of salt. Venice High School, though, it's highly rated here in Venice. And I know we have a few other elementary schools that are really good as well. And actually, so Sarasota County was rated the #2 county in the entire state. St. Augustine was #1. And like I said, we were #2. And since then, unfortunately, we've got moved up to #1. So I think that should tell you all you need to know. But it's weird how that rating worked out. They give us an A overall. The schools, I don't know, that's weird. Yes. But let's check out, okay, overall. Overall ratings A+. From one user review. But they did a lot of surveys actually, 38 surveys, and still got an A+. So that's based on people that actually live here, I think, or have been here. I'm not sure how stringent they are on the people reviewing, but I think that's accurate. I think so. I feel like the overall score should be higher than if the ratings overall are an A+. Yeah. And I also think, that A+ is contingent on what you're looking for out of a city. If you want a little bit of a medium/small town type of feel, with a few of the big city type amenities, Venice is going to be perfect for you. But if you want more of a big city, probably not your thing, And then, of course, there's all the Florida things. If you like what Florida is,
you'll love Venice. If you don't like what Florida is, you probably won't like Venice, you know, the weather and all the other stuff that comes with Florida, which if you've been watching our channel, you would know a lot about Venice and you would know a lot about Florida. So make sure to subscribe, turn on all notifications if you do want to know more.
And if you're looking to buy or sell a home in the area, make sure to call, text, or email our real estate team, 941-221-1897.
And if you want to know more about Venice, check out this playlist. There's a whole bunch of videos that'll help you out there. Hit the like button if you found the video helpful, and
Live breezy.